TGIF Warriors. Hiya, Bran. Paul, how are you? Sinatra, Alexander, Shahab, Bran. Everyone doing okay? Hope everyone had a good week. Thanks. I had a decent week. Hello, Richard. Okay, so TGIF, everyone. And
TGI.
PCE, which stands for Pips Come Easy.
Oh,
Damn, I knew that acronym meant for something else.
Did you? You could make another one up.
Dale, you are definitely the king of acronyms. I love it.
Anyway, there we go. I wanted to start with this. After listening to Harold yesterday talk about China is going to become like Japan. I think it's different. Maybe he means Japan in 1941, but he's talking about the economy being bad. And last time we were here, I thought copper was breaking down, and it was a false breakdown, and really nice rally. And I think this was even when the market was selling off. But here we are again. And to me, it's knocking at the door too many times. I think we're going to break down. And I also believe that that's commentary on China, what copper's doing. So that's another thing that, may chip away at the bull's argument. A lot of people were looking at because of how Chinese stocks acted and that their PBOC was easing. So they were stimulating that they could be an engine of growth to keep the global economy going. And copper's not agreeing with that narrative. Any thoughts, guys?
I just want to mention on top of that,
Aussie either.
Well, Aussie, you look at the Baltic Dry Index, pull up the BDI, just put in the BDI and then throw a line chart on it, because you won't be able to, it doesn't look right unless you just throw in BDI.
Okay.
Yeah. Grab the Baltic Dry Index and then just go ahead and pull it up. Now, make that into, see up by the BDI, you can see the candlestick, make it into a line chart. So 2 over, there you go. And make it into a line chart. And, just like now zoom out and just, this is, if China is really the growth engine of manufacturing and shipping and products globally, then you look at the BDI and go, well, I don't know if this narrative is really, this China opening narrative is really all that great. And China, explosive growth is really all that great. So
you got a little blip up, but it would have to continue to change it,
Yeah, I mean, what is that? Does that change the picture since the
October of 2020?
Yeah, I mean that's when
the COVID,
the world stopped for COVID. I mean,
right?
Just
things weaker and weaker recoveries as time goes on, and this is before higher global interest rates by central banks actually feed into the real economy.
Yeah, and I think that's what that lower low that you keep seeing is exactly what you're saying. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyway, just something for you to think about. You're before you switch over your charts, you may want to flip it back to candlestick.
Okay.
Yeah,
I learned something new today. Gosh, I tell you, I tell people that you guys dragged me kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
So I was just so happy we got rid of your candy bar phone and got you a smartphone at some point,
Oh yeah. So Aussie almost at that 67 level. I guess you have to respect the dollar, did have those 2 closes over 104. This is everyone's target. Is this what you're thinking too, Blake? 106 on
for the dollar index?
Yeah.
The bull flag pattern comes in at 105.80. So okay. That's the target. And it's on our pattern in plays, and it's been there since the 15th. So we're talking 9 days now. So yeah, that's been our target.
All right. And then yesterday, the guys, that live in the UK were
Who are
talking
those
about
guys?
this level. You came in and Ryan.
Well, I'll let them talk about it.
All right. So, okay, guys. So, you got your appointment, right? That happened?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And we talked about what would be a big area above the market if it kept going. And 3670 was the number based on, besides the moving average, up around this 137. Looks like we're going there.
Yeah, it could be. Could be we're going there. We got a bit of a dollar bid going on, and it's looking like it might be a bit of month end stuff because yields aren't doing anything.
Yeah,
we've got dollar bid yields have picked up, but dollar yen's much higher than when yields are up at that 395 area. So this might be a bit of month end, which we've looked at the models, and they're all looking at moderate dollar buying into month end. So jury's out, I think, but we still might get a move up to that area.
I mean, what's the market expecting for PCE?
A little pullback to 4.3% in the core from 4.4 prior.
Yeah. Okay.
So only a small number. I mean, whether this one has any real effect, it depends on the variation. Because the market already moved on the CPI. So we're just got to watch. If it comes in above 4.4%, then we could see yields picking up a bit, and then the dollar dragged up a bit further.
Okay. Kman, did you go for your silver? There's a new low you were looking for.
No, not yet. I'm so I hope not too defensive, but I'm only sitting just above 20.5. I know Stelios entered a little today on the low of the day so far.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be even more patient. Perhaps today, if the end of month flows play out a bit, we may see a bit more dollar strength, and I may anticipate my 20.5 a bit. But it's just a first entry for me down there to try and load them up. Yeah, closer to 18. I'll be very patient with it, and probably start to pay up if I don't get what I want above 22.15 or so. But on the and then back on the yen, there's a lot of confluence up there around 137. You got the 100, the 200. You got the top of the cloud today, which comes massively off, by the way, on Monday. On Monday, the top of the cloud will lie around 135. So that's a big.
Is it a cumulus nimbus or Stradivarius type cloud?
I don't know. It's a cloudy Bloody Mary or so. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the salt on the rim though.
All right. Yeah, I can imagine.
All right.
But
you have to watch my sodium.
Ueda hasn't given much to the yen bulls overnight at all. In fact, he disappointed me a bit. So the yen is weaker across the board today, which is okay for my position because I managed to catch some relatively close to the low on the Tokyo fixing while Ueda was talking. So
nice.
Going according to plan. But I will take off everything if we see that 137 just for now for the timing of the move as well.
Okay. Vix, I just want to share with our attendees and viewers what it's like to be kind of a public person in this business and share your ideas and stuff. So I bought VIX, and up here everyone's going, wow, Dale, good call by Dale. It's pretty smart. Then it pulls back here and people go, it's just like everyone else. Then it rallies up here and goes, maybe Dale's going to be right. Then it pulls back and go, VIX isn't going anywhere. That guy's crazy. So who wants to become a public figure in the trading industry? Raise your hand. Huh?
It's too late. You already are.
You have to have thick skin, because there are a lot of people out there that are rooting for you to fail. And, you just have to brush that off, and almost kind of it's tragic for them because they're spending their whole life trying to rationalize their inadequacies. So misery loves company. So we have to learn just to, let everything just slide off our back.
Yeah, that's why you just come into our chat rooms and you just post your trades inside the chat room, and that speaks for itself. So
yeah,
people have nothing to say, right?
Yeah, it's supportive. Yeah, you don't have to be afraid.
That's what it comes down to. Like,
yeah, so
look,
that's why you need a good
it's all on the table. You can watch it.
Because I don't know. Look, it can affect you. If you're getting beaten up on Twitter or something like that. So, find at least an area where you trust the people around you, and they know they're hoping for you to do well.
Oh, okay. On social media, my block button works really well. I don't know about you guys. It's really easy to do. You just click it and then gone. You'll never see that person again.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's ghost them. All right, so why don't we talk a little bit about what's happening in and Estelle went into silver. The silver held at 200 days. Estelle, was that your reason?
I had an order. Good morning, everybody. Had an order at 2105 for a while now. I've been talking about it. Okay. It got filled, and I have more. It was for a quarter position, so I'm slowly loading up as I always do. For those who have been following me for a while, and
wait, so you backed up the truck still?
Not yet. No.
Well, did you back up the VW?
The Mini.
the Mini Cooper?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have the number today. Actually, anyway, it was my level, and we have the number today. If there's a surprise, then it's going to be a good trade. If not, then my ultimate target is is around 19. So if we get there, I'm going to be going full size. Anyway, yeah, and I'm trading. I've said before, unleveraged and I'm very patient. My last move, I've told you over and over again, took over 18 months to play out, but it played out really nicely. So I'm not saying people do what I do, but that's how I do it.
Okay, we have a comment that silver is crap. Anyway,
depends on how you trade it.
This was a pretty powerful wave. So if I covered it up, and I bet if you covered it up and you didn't see silver and just looked at the price action up in here, you go, you know what? I'd like to buy a fib retracement, right? So, 61.8's 2022, if we get through the moving average. So to me, it's nothing is crap. It's what's crap is how you trade things. So, you're personalizing a market. Okay, so anyway, I agree with you guys. Also, the miners, they're not open yet. I expect them to come in lower today with, unless there's a big reversal on the number. But I had this zone between here and 26 is where I was going to start buying the miners. This was a pretty important breakout, and then you have confluence of 61.8 here. So we're almost there.
Can I talk about something that coincides with all of that? Everything you guys are discussing. Do you guys mind?
No.
Do you mind if I take the charts?
No.
Oh, come on, dude. Why are you asking so many things?
It's because I don't care what you think.
Just
honestly. Okay, I'm grabbing it. All right. So you know what? You're discussing gold, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about gold just because we have this bear flag. We're at the 618. Looks like we can complete. You give us a strong PCE data. We're probably going to see somewhere down here in gold, right? We're going to complete this this bear flag that we've been waiting on for quite some time. The 618's obviously been very important. You can see relative strength is near its lows. But if you guys are picking up precious metals, miners down at these levels, to me it makes sense, right? And I'm gonna talk to Ryan and Kman about this as well, because one of the things I've been wanting to do, and this was actually our chart of the day yesterday. If you just go over to our blog, this is free, on ForexAnalytix, just go right to the blog and And if you speak Spanish, you can read that one. But if you don't, then you can come to this one where it says, dollar yen coming up to major resistance. I was really looking for a move above 136 to start looking for shorts. And, you talk about the potential of, silver bouncing, gold bouncing at these levels. And one of the biggest, plays right now, I think, is going to be in the bond market and with yields. And one of the bigger, or one of the moves that are going to happen and coincide with the move in the bond market would be what in real rates would be what happens in gold and quite possibly the dollar yen. Obviously, there's more moving parts with the dollar yen with Ueda and his testimony last night, which I think Ryan and Kman should say a few things about, because they've had some time to digest all of his comments, which doesn't seem like too alarming at this point, but like, we've talked about all week, he's going to say whatever he has to say before he gets in the driver's seat. Once he's in the driver's seat, he's going to be like, yeah, this sucker's mine, and so then things can change after that. But, we're looking for a move, above 136 towards 136.50. And I think that's quite possible. Give us a strong data point today. Gold takes one stab lower, dollar yen takes a stab higher, up into the 136s, and now you're talking into major resistance in the dollar yen. You're talking about probably major support in precious metals, and then you look at the bond market, which is going to be the driver of it all, right? You could have one more push into lows into the 10-year before you get a bounce, right? And so yields might take one more stab higher. So anyway, what are your thoughts regarding all of that I just said? Stelios, so since you're playing silver, what are you thinking here with the PCE, with the dollar, with precious metals?
I think the most likely scenario is we get a PCE which is maybe marginally lower than last print, so something in line with the CPI that we saw. I still think yields are going a little bit higher, hence my hesitation to go long more in the stuff I like.
What's the term? You're gonna go deep in balls? What?
No, come on. I don't
all right. I don't.
All jokes aside, I think the 10-year US has a good chance of testing the previous highs at 433. And if that happens, I think the S&P is going to be trading in the 3600s. But I think it's very difficult for the 10-year US to be trading a lot higher than that. And that's because if we do get, I talked about this on the flow show as well, if we do get a hawkish Fed and, they hike a little bit more, they stay on hold for a little bit longer, I think it's almost a given that the US economy is going to suffer quite a bit afterwards. So the market's going to price in, yes, we have 5-6% rates at the moment, but the economy is going down the drain, so they're going to be cutting, they're going to be doing this and that. So I think it's very difficult, as long as inflation keeps dropping, even at a slower pace, it's very difficult to see the 10-year go way behind, way above that level. So that's
the straw that breaks the camel's back type of move, though, right? We start to get these 10 years above 4%, and I think that's really going to put the S&P down at 3,800.
And the S&P should be testing that trend line now, Blake, that you showed yesterday from one of our.
Yeah, we are, and it's real. Actually, all of this between the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA is very, very important. There's a trend line that you can see here. I highlighted it, and I updated the chat room this morning. If you're here,
that's the destiny of trend lines.
Guys, we have to also remember what's the first thing that suffers when yields start rising quickly, and that's housing, right? And we're seeing a housing market turn, and where's most people's majority of wealth? Where is it? It's in their their home equity, right? So the average person is going to feel the pinch. The wealth effect is going down, and they're not going to be going out spending like there's no tomorrow. So it starts from housing, in my opinion, and then it spreads out everywhere else.
Yeah, well, housing. I live in one of the hottest, or you could say coldest, housing markets in the United States, and it's cold now. It was hot, and it's so I'm an exaggerated example of what the U.S. housing market probably looks like nationwide.
How much have values come off there, Blake?
I'd say 20% off of the highs. Off the highs, you know, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Not to most people. Like to me, it doesn't really matter. But to people and their psychology, it does. You know, like, oh, you know, I've lost. Oh, my house has gone down $400,000 in value. I can't buy that new restoration hardware $3,000 couch now. I mean, it's the psychology that
it's all about sentiment, right?
Yeah, it is. It's especially on the trickle down effect, which our economy basically lives on since Alan Greenspan. I mean,
and think about it. When was the last proper housing
Bernanke,
crash?
I'm sorry?
Bernanke. When was the last proper housing like downturn? 2008, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason for it, but there's a reason for it now. I mean, you could argue. So now I don't know if it's going to be aggressive as aggressive.
And housing is a weird market because what happens when things start looking like they're going down, buyers actually just disappear, right? So unless you're living in a very specific place, you know, which has very limited supply, but you know, overall the buyers disappear, and then you know, it's tough. You know, psychologically, it's tough.
It is, especially for people that need to get out. You know, they need to get out for whatever reason, whether it's moving, whether it's, you know, financial reasons, whatever the reason. It does weigh on psychology. Hey, Stelios, we've heard you blabber way too much. Let's hear from.
I know.
I'm joking. Let's hear from Kman and Ryan what their thoughts on Ueda was overnight with the BOJ nominee that's coming in here in the next couple of weeks. What are your thoughts, Ryan? First of all, gut feelings here.
Yeah, it was well, price action wise, it was very disappointing. We've had a bigger move today than we got over, you know, all of it. It's difficult. He fell into more of the Kuroda side of things. You know, a little bit of lip service on potentially when and if they tighten policy. But
say what you need to say, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's difficult. You have got to remember that Kuroda's still in the job, so maybe he is holding back a bit because he's not going to tell everyone what they're going to do, and then let Kuroda go in and do something different.
Right? Like, are you going to go in and say, you know, Kuroda, you're a jackass? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking your job here in a second. I mean, what's he going to really say?
Yeah. How do the Japanese feel about him being handpicked by Janet Yellen?
Don't know about that. But people keep comparing him to Bernanke because he's followed the same sort of route. But Japan's a different situation. You know, we're not talking about, you can't go like for like what the Japanese are like compared to what the BOE, the Fed, and all the rest of them are like. It's a completely different mindset, as Kay will tell you. But you know, the fact that he was very non-hawkish, not even a tiny bit. I thought dollar yen would have rallied a bit more overnight, and it didn't. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. You know, you're looking for fireworks, and you ended up with you know, a wet stick. So
we got a little false breakdown. And Kman, what are your thoughts? I mean, you know, you lived in Japan. You understand the Japanese culture, much different than like if you were in Italy. So what are your opinions here?
Yeah, I think to me he disappointed a bit, and also what struck me was his repeated comments about government and Bank of Japan cooperation. That tells me enough. That tells me that they won't rock the boat, right, in making changes. He did mention about the changes in possible changes in YCC, but it looks all to be more tweaks than really coming forward as the big reformer of monetary policy, which is typically Japanese. But yeah, he could have been a little more vocal on upcoming changes, at least hinting at changes to come. But he remained very vague. I think the reaction being muted is that we have another round come Monday in the upper house. That is one thing. And perhaps the market's still thinking about, oh yeah, but Kuroda could go out with a bang and do something in March in the meeting. So I think that roughly explains the kind of muted move. But to me, at least, it's not giving the yen bulls any food at all
at this moment. Yeah. Okay. And that explains why the dollar yen's trading at trend highs right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get you guys' opinion about the dollar here in just 1 second. As we go into the PCE. But Jonathan said, "Hey, Malmgren mentioned yesterday about Blackstone. Talk about volatility. How would you guys play it?" Look, I'm going to just make this really simple because we want to talk about the dollar ahead of this data. If you put your tinfoil hat on and you really honestly believe there's going to be some shit that hits the fan, there is no other place at this moment being in than the dollar. So, if to hedge all bets, if you're like, you're like Black Swan me, put a tinfoil hat on my head, shit's going downtown like today, at some point, just go buy dollars. I mean, that's your play. I mean, that's it. So if you're asking how you play it, just buy dollars. Like if you're really that worried about it, that's what everybody else is going to do. All right. Let's go talk really quick about the dollar just in general. And going into this data, how do you guys feel about it? Because here we are, and we can, Dale, we're near month end. We're just a few days from month end. We got the dollar breaking out. We got a bull flag pattern that continues to play out. On the week ahead video, I said buy dip down to 103.50. This week we went as low as 103.70. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we went as low as 103.51 because that was the weekend. Anyway, we dipped and then we rallied. So we're playing out to the playbook. What do you do here, Dale?
I think you still have to stay long the dollar. And now, if you want to really tighten things up, you get out. Should we take out 104? You can move your stop to 104.
If you're looking at this from a technical standpoint, right? If and you're like, yesterday I got asked, about the dollar. I'm like, it's a bullish wedge. Why is it a bullish wedge? Because you have consistent highs, higher lows, and that means the probability percentage wise is higher for an upside breakout. Now, the dollar index actually turns bearish at some point. That would be below this trend line, which is right here. So if you really want to, and you can just take that spike low, it's like 104.40. If we get below that for some reason, I don't think you want to be long dollars anymore. I mean, that's like okay, I was wrong, which that does happen in the market, right, Dale? We were talking about it earlier today. You were, if you're wrong, where you're wrong, and that's the most important thing about trading. It's okay to be wrong because you will be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. So Ryan, what do you think, as we go into this, news day, what do you think about the dollar at current levels? I mean, should you continue to stay on the long dollar boat or, is there any other reasons why it's going up?
No, I think, as said earlier, I think there's potentially a lot of month end behind this move. Dollar's been rising when yields have been rising. And at the moment, there's a little bit of a disconnect today. So, I think, dollar yen's looking pretty at 135.76. It's looking like it's making its way above 135 now. But let's see where we are on the close. We've tried several times to get above 135 and we've finished the day below it. So if we do manage to keep above it in dollar yen, then we're going to be heading higher. And
all right. And Kman, you had you in the chat room, in the ForexAnalytix chat room today, you were talking a little bit about the value date and what that means to the dollar at the month end. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Just on value date month end, we often have a bit of US corporate dollar shopping going around. This typically happens on the value date.
And we happen to be, and that value date is 3 days before.
Today's value date. But it's not like a given every month, but
right.
and perhaps some of it has already been front run by the market if you look at how the dollar has been trading into it. But let's see what happens around the London fixing in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, speaking of which, we have data is going to be coming out. Here's the S&P. Here's the dollar index. I'm going to pull that down just a little bit. And over here, I'm going to put the 10-year yield just so we can keep an eye on what's happening with yields following this PCE data. Here's a 15-minute chart so you guys get a decent view. And then here is the data flash. So we're going to see that data as soon as it comes out. Stelios, we got a countdown here?
10. No, it's actually 15. I was going to do the 10-second countdown. No.
Oh yeah, all right. We're almost a 10-second countdown. Stelios is going into this balls deep long dollars, right? Right. Just kidding.
Let's see.
A joke, guys. It's a joke.
Let's see.
Oh shoot! Look at the S&P. That's strong data. That's got to be strong data. I don't see the print yet, but look at the dollar just ripping.
Does somebody have it?
Not a leak.
No, now
a leak or something. I don't see it anywhere.
Got the monthly.
Personal income 0.6. Who cares? We want the other number.
It's actually a bit lower.
What?
What is going on?
What is going on?
Yeah, 0.6 the deflator. So that's a bit higher than expected.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
4.4. Did I hear somebody 4.4? Oh, 4.7 core PC. Is that right?
4.7? Wait, is that right?
4.7. Yep.
Oh wow.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, hot.
Well, here we go. The dollar yen should trade above 136. We would think. We'll see.
I'm just cutting my silver at 2101, by the way.
You what? Did you cut it or did you pick up more? Oh no, man, I'm gonna start selling some dollar yen right about now. So just I'm actually getting ready to start fading this move because I think everybody knew. How did everybody know?
The headline
everybody
PC
knew.
5.4% versus 5% prior, though that's been revised up to 5.3, and the core has been revised up to 4.6 from 4.4 as well. So it's still high and hot.
It is. It's high and hot, but we expected that, right? I mean, you did going in. You saw the piece. You saw the PPI. You saw the CPI. You expect the PCE. But this is the problem with everybody today running into this news. The dollar was on a rampage going into this move. I mean, you look at the euro. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've seen this week trying to buy, cable at 120. I mean, they're just getting smashed right now. Euro, above 106. People trying to buy it on the big support this week at the. It was at a 78% retracement, right? And right here, and people are trying to buy the euro, and they're just getting, they're just getting wiped out. Wiping those people out ahead of the weekend. But we are probing some pretty key levels going in the weekend. Like I said, this data was pretty well known that it was going to be strong. So I think you guys got to be careful, really kind of chasing it here. Final thoughts before we turn over to Dale. Dale's got an interview. It's on a Friday, which is not our normal, Dale's normal MO. But real quick, any final thoughts from the team?
Yeah. How about this, Blake? Everyone's talking about month end. Pull up any monthly candle, the dollar, gold, S&Ps, very negative candles, big positive candle on the dollar. Markets will usually follow through into the next month. We only have 3 days left of February, and they're all real ugly candles.
There is, I'm trying to zoom a little bit. Look at the dollar index. We would call that a bullish outside day. Yeah. Because or a bullish outside month rather, because you just don't get them otherwise in the FX. Nice but man, that's big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Ryan, any last minute thoughts before we go?
No, I'm just trying to trade around me Kiwi that I did a sell stop earlier. Okay. No, just watch this dollar, but be very careful where we finish today.
Yeah. Sounds good. I actually have already traded some, and I'm talking to the chat room right now.
Can you help me promote Dom? There it is. Somebody find.
Did you find him? Okay. Hey, Stelios, any last minute thoughts? Sorry, I was just updating our chat room.
No, I think yield should be going higher on this, and stocks lower. I don't see any other move.
Kman? He might be
I'm waiting 4 o'clock to cover most of my dollar longs today.
All right. Hey,
nice
Kman.
Trading, Kman.
Way to slay it, buddy.
My friend.
Way to slay it. All right, guys.
All right.
Well, Dale, I'm going to pass over to you. You got your person. You guys check out ForexAnalytix when you get a chance. Remember, it's $1 for 10 days. Try it out. Download the mobile app when you do that. And Dale, it is all yours.
Okay, team. I'll be thinking about you as I take a ride on my beautiful balloon this weekend. Wouldn't you like to ride on a beautiful balloon way up in the sky in my beautiful balloon?
You're the best, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.
All right. Anyway,
My
don't.
tickets for your Vegas performance.
Yeah, I'm hoping I don't get shot down. I'll be at about 40,000 feet. All right, guys. So have a great weekend, Dream Team. Thank you for really keeping people on the right side of things this week. It wasn't easy. And Dom, welcome back to F.A.C.E. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Can you hear me?
Got you, Dom. So we talked on Skype, I don't know, about 3-4 months ago, and
Yeah.
you were very excited about this platform that you've developed, and
Yeah.
I think that's what you want to talk about today, right?
Yeah, just a couple of things. I think I was just obviously, yeah, what I've been up to in the past. I think I spoke to you. I looked from the diary. It was about June 21, and it was interesting because I know you guys obviously big currency players, and we had this big discussion about it was trading 93. So I actually looked at the charts yesterday and just kind of revised some charts in case anyone wanted to look at them. But I mean, again,
okay. Why don't you share your screen?
Yeah, I mean, it was just
green box on the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. I'm just doing it. So yeah, I got the Dixie here. Hold on.
Yeah, we just looked at the monthly candle on it. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And I got this, and I remember when we were talking 93s, and at the time, I think everyone was thinking it was going lower. And I said, look, if rates go higher, dollar's going to go higher. And it was one of those moments when you were absolutely beautifully right. I didn't trade it at all. Classic. But yeah, I got, you can see here, you've got this channel. This is a weekly chart. And yeah, I mean, you've also got like a head and shoulders here, but you know, it's right on the edge here, right? So if it breaks that, you know, there's some form of retracement up into the highs. You know, I haven't done the fibs, but yeah, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying.
I think 61.8 is about 109 or so.
Yeah, somewhere up here.
78.6 is in the 110s.
Yeah. So around about this level, yeah.
So is your view that that was an important high, and this is just a wave 2 or corrective move?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think what I wanted to do is just kind of show this with let me just 2 secs. How do I get rid of this? So can I move this? Yeah. Can you see my ES screen now?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So again, this is a weekly chart, and it's what's been interesting is, you know, this, we're in a core, it's all about inflation, right? And then obviously PCE's just come out, we've just broken this level, we're right on it here. If you take, you know, you've got this flag here, again, weekly chart, we're right on the edge at 75 yesterday, which on the ES we bounced from up to another core level at 4,020, and yeah, I got 60s really. We're now trading 65. You know, below this, then I think we're going back into the 3,900 and potentially a retouch of the breakout.
Breakout.
Yeah,
that's a big level.
Yeah, exactly. This kind of 780 level. But you know, anything can turn on a dime, and it's quite interesting. We've got a lot of divergences.
Yeah, you really have to be tactical. You can't really marry a narrative. You have to trade it.
Absolutely. I mean,
so you have to date it. You know, not you maybe go steady for a while, maybe get engaged, but not marry a narrative.
No, no, no. I mean, the narratives change every week. You know, 1 minute it's pivot, next minute it's inflation's disinflation, and so forth. But I mean, ultimately, you've got, you know, certainly something I was saying last, well, a year and a half ago when I spoke to you last. It's like, you know, this is just, the inflation is going higher. There's no doubt about it, and the true inflation is twice, or if not 3 times, above what is stated. Certainly in the UK. You know, if you go shopping, you know about it, and so I think well, what's been interesting is certainly over the last sort of like month, 6 weeks, you know, you had an all-time high in the FTSE. DAX has had a 27% move, I think, from October lows. So you know, the Europeans have been on a screen while the Americans,
to the US, yes.
Yeah, exactly, which is bizarre. You know, very, very rare that happens. So we'll see. I think
maybe it's about the dollar and wanting to own assets in the euro rather than the dollar.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the cable and euro, they're off their lows. It's just strange. It's infrequent that this happens, that you have this divergence between kind of, you know, market indices across Europe and the US. Usually, the US is by far the leader, and maybe it's leading to the downside, you know, or maybe, but the rates, maybe rates are just kind of too much to handle in the US at 5%. Well, obviously Europeans are still 2.5%. UK is like 3.75, I think, you know, nearly 4. So maybe that's kind of the sweet spot, but anything over 5, you know, is just not good for the American indices, and, you know, borrowing costs are just too high. So
so what positions are you holding or looking to put on?
I've got a small short, but that was overnight. I generally day trade. I don't really swing trade unless we're at kind of pivotal points, which is like your 4,100, 4,200. Anything really over this kind of flag spike, I was short here. But yeah, I just wanted to just give you guys a kind of overview of what's going on. It's a tricky time. It's not easy, and certainly this kind of 3,900 to 4,100 in the ES is a bit of a no man's land. You know, you've got one camp saying disinflation breakout, you know, and the others are just saying, look, you know, recession's coming, but Fed's not pivoting. Thus, you know, ultimately it's a slow, steady retreat downwards in the US indices. So yeah, don't marry the narrative, trade price, and see what happens.
Especially don't marry anyone else's narrative.
Yeah.
At least have your own. That's what I'm talking about. Have your own narrative.
Yeah, of course.
Not blindly follow some, you know,
someone
else's.
Keep off Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dom.
So just to talk about, I think briefly mentioned it last time, you know, 4 years now, we've been building this algo. It's myself and a few guys. We've got a professor of statistics at Oxford University, a professor at Munich University, and, you know, it's taken us a long time. We've built our own indicators and stuff like this, and we finally, after a year of testing last year, in simulated and then in demo environments, we went live on January the 1st. We're currently up 12%, which is good. And what we've also done is we've built via MT Trade, MetaTrader 4 and 5, actually, with a whole bunch of brokers, the ability to copy these signals, trade signals, and we went live with that on the 3rd of Jan. And yeah, it's been very good thus far. Technically, it's been fine. We've built lots of back-end stuff and reconciliation and making sure that the clients are safe and so forth, and trades are getting closed out correctly. I mean, we've done a huge amount of work on it, and so yeah, I mean, it's something we're kind of proud of. We're rolling out this weekend, so we do like a trend hunter on the ES and the NQ. Last year it returned 87%, so, you know, nice figures. 12% this year so far, which is good. Max drawdown is 1.5%, so I think it's looking good. We've got about 100,000 under AUM. It's a small tiny kind of little mini hedge fund. But like I say, it's taken us 4 years, and you know, if people are interested, they can ping us or ping me. I can put something in the chat, and certainly, you know, you can ask questions about it. We're doing webinars and stuff like that. It's free at the moment. We're just kind of getting people involved in it and taking people on a journey. And you know, if people are interested, they can contact us. But yeah, we're rolling out CL, well, crude, gold, and a YM this weekend. And we've back tested over 15 years. We've got the tick data. We've got everything, you know, in terms of a professional setup. And yeah, it's Valletta Trading Hub. The two guys I'm working with are Spanish. They went to Granada University and then did their PhDs elsewhere. But
so it sounds like you went with a different model from when you and I talked, where you had traders offering signals to people.
So we do have traders as well. So it's what we're trying to build is actually a social trading hub. So we have some traders.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought you were going to talk about.
Yeah, so the algo is kind of our main product. So we have certain traders, like a trader, for instance, last year he made 148%. We're building a PAM for him in Europe and the States if people are interested. So he did 148% last year. These are fully documented, everything's checked, broker statements, you name it. You know, we collect real-time trades. We display the P&L real time. Everything's in real time. Everything's transparent.
Let's see it.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a couple of traders. We've got a discretionary FX trader, a discretionary ES trader. He also does options. He returns 764% in 7 years, fully documented. You know, people can review the stats, review the trades. They can review the market data. And so, and that's what we're really doing, is building that social trading hub where we can connect really good traders or strategies and algos. Most of our stuff's also AI inclusive, and then building clients. And really, we've got, like, you know, the technology to make it all happen, so that the client can consume these trade signals and hopefully get some nice alpha in return. And at the moment, it's you know, we're looking at retail clients and small funds of funds, small hedge funds that are interested and kind of building it out. And you know,
why are we looking at an S&P chart instead of that platform?
Well, I've given you I can give you the platform, or I can give you the website. Can you see it? Can you see mine?
Yeah.
So, I was trying to. You can see how bad I type, guys. Hold on. And also on my laptop that I don't really use. Okay, so this is our website. You can view it. You can look at our traders. You can look at the performances. It's all here. You can join our community. We've got a Discord community that gives out live trades, and then, you know, we do webinars, and if you're interested in, we can, you know, invite you to a webinar and go through the actual whole process. We've got a whole bunch of packs that describe it, and yeah, just get in contact, and you know, please feel free to reach out. We're open, we're honest, we're transparent. Dare I say, no BS. And you can view all the trades and results and so forth. And the idea is you know, we'll slowly build it and we'll take it from there.
All right, Tom. All right. So I wish you good luck with this. So
thank you, Dale. It's really
growing
kind.
And your view on the dollar and S&P. And
yeah, I think we're at very big inflection points at the moment. I think you just need to be a bit careful, really. Let the market kind of make its decision and then follow it, right? But it's a lot of false breakouts recently, and Yeah.
Love those.
Yeah, they're great. They are great.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to be careful with them because I mean,
You got to be jaded to do well in this market. You have to be very cynical, and your cynicism can pay off. So,
yeah,
it's a natural environment for a contrarian.
yeah, exactly. I mean, certainly last year and a half was fantastic because I think when I spoke to you last, we were talking about. I said, look, guys, there's no way inflation's going to stay here. You know, coming December 22, rates are pricing 2%, and the CPI is at 5%, and then suddenly when it all caught up, in sort of like August, September, October last year, it's beautiful. But the market's in a bind. It kind of doesn't know if it needs to believe the Fed or not, right? And it's almost pushing the Fed, I think, to kind of be a bit more rock solid and say, well, no, we're going to deal with this inflation, and you're going to have to have some pain. And the markets are not used to that.
Yeah,
they're used to the Fed rolling over, and you can see it bounced off that 60 area. It's only small, but 68 trading at the moment, and so yeah, it's
a reversal month. We took out last month's high, previous month's high, and we're lower on the month by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't take out for the bulls 3,800. Then you'd have an outside candle for the month, but we only have like 3 days left. I don't think that's going to.
Yeah, I think that'd be a bit too much.
So,
but
good talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. Yeah, great talking to you as well. And thanks for the time. And Valletta Trading Hub, come and visit. And if you have any questions, please shout.
Okay, Dominic Galley, everybody. Find him at vallettatradinghub.com. And your handle again is Trade Inflection, at Trade Inflection, correct?
Yeah, at Trade Inflection, yeah.
Okay, so that's how you find Dominic, okay? And thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Recharge, and don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And we'll see y'all, God willing, on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Dom, thanks again for dropping in and showing us what you've been spending your time doing.
Thanks, Dale. Take care.
Wish you much success with it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Take care.
Okay, adios, everyone. Have a great weekend. Could join the team, and I'm sure they're still trading their butts off. Well, it looks like about 23 minutes on the morning edge. And so that you have an edge, join the morning edge. I'll see you guys next week. You're welcome. You're welcome, Dom. Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Dom.
Bye-bye.
See you, David, everyone. Adios.